Graham here, living the dream in May 2025, and as you can see, I'm back at my fantastic friend Tom and Stars in Eastern Tennessee. I'm not sure what I'm going to get up to in this episode. It is Sunday. It's our first day, or my first day back here in the US. I think we're going off to a Civil War reenactment. Never been to one before. But let's see what Tom, Brandon and I get up to on this first part of what I was going to call this trip, Men Behaving Badly in Tennessee. That was what Fiona wanted me to call it. Let's go. Hi, I'm Graham, and this is my wife Fiona, and we have always had a work hard, play hard philosophy. From London to New York, and of course the Caribbean, we live our dream through travel. And of course, the odd cocktail. And here on YouTube, we create our memories while living our dream. So come and join us as we share our memories with you. First things first, I had to go and find Tom and Brandon.
We're just out looking for you.
What are we doing today, boys?
We're gonna do a Civil War reenactment.
Who were fighting?
Personally.
Who were fighting? Not the British, clearly.
No, Confederates. But we're on the Confederate side. We're taking the General Lee.
Taking the General Lee. Brandon?
Yes, sir.
What's a muffler?
What's a muffler? It's the thing under the boot.
Tom, what's a muffler?
I can't talk about that.
What do you call this car, Tom?
That's the General Lee.
The General Lee. The Dukes of Tennessee. All right, Tom, how big's your motor?
My motor's huge, like me.
Right, come on, start it up.
All right.
Get a remote start going. Here we go.
V8 power.
It certainly gets the same power as my Jag, but it makes a much better noise. I did tell you that I was going to call the next 3 episodes Men Behaving Badly in Tennessee, and maybe now you can see why. However, as you can imagine, I've had to edit out more than my fair share. That's probably not appropriate for YouTube.
They have a very tiny. That's why I get to drive it.
Now that we checked out the size of Tom's motor, it was time to head to Fort Loudon and the Civil War reenactment. Fort Loudon was an approximately 35 to 40 minute drive from Tom and Star's house. Fort Loudon was constructed by the British between 1756 and 1757, and this was going to be a base for the British who wanted to garner support for the Cherokee Nation, and that of course was at the consternation of the French, who at the time owned a swathe of land we now know as the southern United States. And I've got absolutely no idea, guys, if Fort Loudon was named after Loudon Hill, which is an historic site located between South Lanarkshire and East Ayrshire here in Scotland. Anyway, back to Fort Loudon in Monroe County, Tennessee. We're now walking towards the reconstructed replica fort, which was open today for a reenactment, but clearly not a Civil War reenactment. And of course, being a Brit, it's always excellent for me to see a Union flag hanging somewhere in the United States. A massive part of the reenactment here at Fort Loudon is, of course, the period costume, worn by a dedicated group of volunteers who were about to demonstrate firing a cannon, which back in the mid-1700s would have been at the French, of course.
To a 1 pound ball. The gun itself historically would weigh closer to 300 pounds. Our gun doesn't weigh nearly that much, but we're shooting a 1 pound iron projectile is what it speaks to. We, however, will just be shooting powder because, as I told you folks already, they really frown upon us lobbing cannonballs out into the lake. Take aim. Yeah, boys. Cover your ears. All clear. Give. Fire.
I was shooting this video using my iPhone, and the microphone simply didn't pick up how loud this cannon really was. So I'm afraid, folks, you'll have to take my word for it. It was really impressive and loud.
Or could be fired by a two-man team like we're doing here in the field. It fires 500 grains of powder, which is about 5 times the charge of a normal musket. Firing wall gun! Ow. That was a loud one. So, that gun was used to fire at the opposing forces' artillery carriages, so if they were attacking us from the field, cover your ear. Give! Fire! Dismiss! God save the king!
I'd never been to a reenactment before, and it was very interesting. Compared to our history here in Europe, North American history seems so recent to us, and it's fantastic that these incredible volunteers continue bringing this history to life. It was a beautiful Sunday afternoon here at Fort Loudon in Tennessee. So if you're ever in the area during the spring and summer, go to Fort Loudon and give these guys your support. For the first time on the channel, Tom is going to cook what I would refer to as an American delicacy.
It's my favorite.
It's Tom's favourite, it's my favourite, something that we never cook in the UK, and it's something I've only ever found in the United States, and that is after a very famous singer who is from the US.
Yep.
One of Fiona's favourite. Tom's going to make Meat Loaf.
Meat Loaf. Now my Meat Loaf has less bread, it's more meaty. It is somewhat sweet because I use sweet onions and some barbecue sauce.
Barbecue sauce.
But we'll document as we go. And it's my own version. It's not like my mom passed it down, so you'll either love it or hate it. But I'm open to comments either way.
So Tom allegedly used a very specific onion.
Yes, I do. It's any sweet onion. Vidalia's one. Walla Walla, which is a Washington famous one. People eat them like apples. Very sweet. You adjust it to taste. However much you want to emphasize it against the meat. It's up to you.
And it's just ground beef.
That is ground beef. And then I do also use
which we call in the UK mince beef.
some paprika, which I gotta find out where that is.
Right, so what's this panko stuff? What is it?
Panko is a Japanese style breadcrumb. If you've gone to a Japanese restaurant and you've had tempura shrimp or crispy
Love
shrimp,
tempura,
all that kind of stuff, this is the part of the batter they use. This is the crispy part. It's a finer bread. It doesn't have many ingredients, which I like. No gluten, wheat, cane sugar, yeast, salt. That's it. Finer ground, so it also blends in, so you don't end up with mouthfuls of gooey bread. Much, much better. The only thing I'm substituting that's a little different, this is a German product called Wurz. It's much like Worcestershire sauce. You can go either way. I like them either way. With panko, we discussed. A little bit of mustard seed. Paprika. Smoked paprika I prefer. Any low-cost barbecue sauce because you're going to be blended in, so why spend big money? This is enough for 2 meatloafs, which we'll be doing tonight, and we've also discussed the onion. So with that, let's get it chopping. And I'm going to set it to 350 after I plug it in. It does like electricity. Let's see, temperature. Close enough. I'm going to put on bake. time, I just crank it way up because I don't care. Because I'm going to check it with a thermometer so it hits my temp. Okay, that's rolling. So we'll give that 5 minutes or so and let it warm up, and then we'll stick our meat in the oven. A lot of people will make meatloaf and it's finely ground and it's one emulsive paste. To me, that's kind of a high processed food. I like the chunks. You can almost see the handprints from being formed. Clearly you can see the onions. It'll cut and look different, but the flavor, just right. I'm gonna pop this in. We're gonna start for 20 minutes, but ultimately we're looking for 125, 130, which I'm gonna measure with a thermometer, and then we're gonna let it sit, and it'll get 135, 140 on its own. It'll start to smell awesome in about 5 minutes. That's it. It's only been 15 minutes at 350, and it's already bubbling. So if I run that in there, and let's see, we're there. Got my oven mitts, so that just means one thing. Time to bring out the meatloaf. Bubbling, as you can see.
We should take a ride.
Doesn't take long. It's only been about 15 minutes. There's one. There's two. Yes.
Where's Brandon's?
I hadn't made one yet. So what I do like to do while it's hot.
More barbecue?
Yep. And now we're gonna let this sit about 10 minutes. Let me add a little more right there. Now, if you like a lot of barbecue sauce, when you put it on your plate, add a little more.
Here we go. Tom's meatloaf.
I think you want more soft, but
No. Oh, yeah,
you like it like that?
that's really good. What do you think? Good.
Good.
The meatloaf was awesome. And now, man, or is it Tom, makes fire.
Like
Man, make fire. So what was drinking, Tom?
Oh, well, depends what you
Did
want.
you say an old fashioned?
I'm gonna create some old fashioned.
I'd like an old fashioned.
Would you like a newfangled?
Newfangled old fashioned. Guys, the meatloaf was extremely good. Well done, Tom.
This is a old fashioned made with a little bit of George Dickel Tennessee whiskey and my special Trump bullet glass for an honor of my Scottish friend being here, who's not really Scottish.
And with Tom finally realising that I'm not really Scottish after all, as the sun began to set over Tennessee around the campfire, we put the world to rights, bringing Sunday to a close. Alright, it is Monday morning, and as you all know, this actually is a business trip, and yes guys, may not have looked like it in yesterday's episode, Sunday, when we went to the Civil War reenactment and generally enjoyed the what Tennessee had to offer. But today, I'm afraid, Monday morning, we're going to be doing some work. But it's only going to be for about half a day. You know, we plan to do about four hours-ish. And then Tom Brandon and I are heading down to Music City, of course, Nashville, Tennessee. And if you continue to watch this episode, you'll follow the three of us as we make our way to Nashville and enjoy our first night in Music City. Fiona still believes to this day that this particular trip to Tennessee was a complete jolly for us. We did put a decent shift in on Monday morning and even managed to achieve all of the goals we'd set ourselves, including awarding Tom Sales Shark of the Quarter. Well done, Tom. Fantastic job in the first quarter of 2025.
This is a hot, steamy day today.
Right, boys. Work's done for the day. It's gone 2 o'clock. Where are we going?
Nashville.
Nashville.
I'm gonna back out to make it easy for you.
Yeah, good idea. The drive from Tom's house to Nashville would take approximately 2 to 2.5 hours. And while most of the drive would be westbound on the I-40, we first had to get to the interstate. The I-40, or the Interstate 40, runs westbound from Wilmington, North Carolina to Barstow, California, which is just over 2,557 miles. And that's completely mind-blowing to somebody like me from the UK. And just like here in the UK, there are service stations along the way. And therefore, just a third of the way into our journey, we're about to stop at Buc-ee's, which is a Texas phenomenon. However, Buc-ee's is at a scale that we would never see in the UK, with this particular Buc-ee's having somewhere between 130 and 150 petrol pumps. And Tom tells me it is one of the cheapest places in the state to fill up. Well, of course, here in the UK, that is the complete opposite. Motorway service stations tend to be the most expensive petrol, or should I call it gas, in the country. Refueled, snacks procured, we were back on the I-40 westbound. Next stop, Nashville. And as you can see, the closer we got to Nashville, the heavier traffic got. And soon enough, the familiar skyline of Nashville came into sight. As we entered the Nashville city centre grid, we were never far from our AirBnB, but we were just over an hour early. My planning on this was pretty poor because I completely forgot that when we left Kingston, Tennessee, heading for Nashville, we would go back an hour. As a result, we were now in Central Time, so an hour earlier than we expected. We used that hour that we didn't realise we had to go and get some shopping. We then came back to the Airbnb, which was now ready for check-in. And this is our 4-story modern Airbnb, about 35 to 40 minutes walk from the centre of Nashville. Oh, this is like
elevator. Let's go. Yo, this is way.
this is more like it.
This is nicer.
This is way nicer than I thought.
Alright guys, welcome to our Airbnb in Nashville, Tennessee. This place is over 3 stories. We just walked in on the ground floor and there's 2 stories upstairs and there's 1 downstairs. So let's go for a quick walk. There is a downstairs WC, toilet, sink. What else do you need? Hello! And then stairs, you're walking into an open plan kitchen and it's pretty good. Not that we'll be using much of it. Big screen TV, a fire like Fiona and I have at home, and a nice sitting area here with a table, which I think is where we'll probably do most of our work tomorrow morning and Wednesday morning before heading up. I think it's great. Absolutely brilliant. We have a coffee machine. I did buy coffee and a big American fridge, freezer. Really, the important thing's beer. Brandon's girly alka-pops that he's drinking. And let's have a quick walk downstairs. This, guys, is where the elevator comes out. There is another light. There's another toilet and wash hand basin, and then right. This would have been the garage that turned into a bit of a gym and a sauna. And suppose that could be in the makeup bed, but there's no AC down here and it is pretty hot. And a little table. Just outside the garage door is a hot tub, Maybe see if I can get that open later on, and we'll show you that. But look at that, little sauna in the basement. Probably one of the nicest Airbnbs I've ever stayed in. Right, let's get that locked up. Okay, that's the AC unit. All right, back upstairs and we'll take you up to the bedrooms. Right, before we quickly go up to the bedrooms, you can see the kitchen sitting area. Outside we have a big enough table and a barbecue overlooking the suburbs of Nashville. The city centre and Broadway is only about 1.2 miles that way. We'll probably just Uber it to get familiarised exactly where we are. So, finally, let's take you up to the 4 bedrooms. Right, washer dryer. If I can find a light switch, I would show it. There we go. Washer, dryer. Brandon's room. So, double bed. And a nice bathroom with a shower, a sink. What else do you need? It is absolutely perfect. The air conditioning is working really, really well here, guys. It is very, very hot today, sticky. What's in there? More air conditioning. And then into the room that I've managed to get. I think the guys thought it was 2 single beds. 2 queen size beds. I'm going to take the one near the window. Got a nice TV. Doesn't have a balcony, but not worried about that. And again, 2 queen size beds. But wait till you see the bathroom. It is ginormous. Look at this, guys. Shower, I'll show you in a minute. His and her sink. See if Fiona was here. Look, that would be my sink because it's the smaller one. And Fiona's, of course, will be the bigger one. And a nice freestanding bath. Let's come out and get a bit of a better shot. Look at the closet. I'm not sure all of Fiona's clothes and shoes would fit in there from back home, but yeah. Oh, there's a makeup bed as well. That's pretty cool. And then there's a separate toilet. So again, pretty nice. Oh yes, the shower. Look at this walk-in shower. You have a party in here, guys. Rainfall shower, wall mounted. Pretty big. My goodness. A seat if you need it as well. That's absolutely fantastic. Right, let's take a walk up to the 3rd floor. There's Brandon doing whatever Brandon's doing. And again, there's the lift, or as the Yanks call it, an elevator. I have no idea why they can't speak English, but hey. Here we go up to the top floor, where there's another 2 bedrooms. I'll take you to the smallest one first. I'll take you to see Tom's. So the smaller bedroom. These 2 bedrooms don't have their own ensuite, but they do share an ensuite. So they do share a bathroom basically. And again, there's a small, reasonable sized closet in here as well. So this will be the smallest of the 4 bedrooms, but again, that looks to be, I say it's definitely a king size bed, great size. Back out onto the open plan hall landing. Again, chest of drawers there, don't know what that's there for, and then the lift. So again, plenty of room. But wait till you see this bedroom, guys. This is the one that Tom snaffled. He thinks he's the absolute boss man of the company.
Because I'm bigger.
It's because you're older.
Oh,
you're the elder statesman of the company.
Yes, I was just
So What size of bed is that? That's a king.
That's
I wouldn't say it's
queen.
a super king.
That's queen.
Queen size bed?
In the US.
Queen for a queen. So pretty good room. Look at this. You've got chairs. I think Tom's expecting to bring lots of chicks back tonight. I don't think that's going to happen.
The chicken type.
The chicken type, yeah. And look, he's got his own bar. What's that? Is that like
It's a wine dispenser.
a wine dispenser?
Yes.
Oh, that's locked. It must be some sort of storeroom. So that's a wine dispenser. Let's have a look. Oh, yes. Tom, you can have your own little party in this room. And what's this?
That's a wine dispenser.
That's a wine dispenser?
Yeah.
Only in America. It's got his own sink. I don't know what we're going to call this, but... And then we're going to go outside to Tom's personal veranda. Nice comfy chairs. Table over there. And again, looking out over downtown Nashville. Right guys, I hope you've enjoyed this very quick tour of our Airbnb here in Nashville, Tennessee. What I think is really amazing here, and it's probably a good point of discussion for Nashville, when Fiona and I last stayed in Nashville 3 years ago, we had a 1-bedroom apartment. It was a beautiful apartment. It was just about 0.8 of a mile's walk down into Broadway or wherever it's happening here in Nashville, and I think that cost Fiona and I £1,250, so $1,500–1,600 for 3 nights. That was Saturday, Sunday and Monday from memory. This one for Monday and Tuesday night, 2 nights, so Monday to Wednesday, so a night less, was around $850 US. So what's that, about 550, 600 pounds sterling, and that includes the cleaning fee and all the taxes and everything. That's literally what was taken off our credit card. We're pretty sensible guys, even though I'm calling this section the Men Behaving Badly in Tennessee video. We're going to look after this place, and we will leave it just the way we find it today. Hope you've enjoyed this tour of our Airbnb in Nashville. We did take an Uber into Broadway, which is in the centre of Nashville, on the Monday evening, where we started in Fiona's and my favourite little bar. And then we headed across the road for some fried chicken. Well, I got fried chicken, Brandon got mac and cheese, and Tom a pizza. And then we finished the night going for a walk in downtown Nashville. And this is where I'm going to bring this first episode of Men Behaving Badly in Tennessee to a close. I'm going to finish this particular episode with some video and photographs that I took on the Monday evening. But if you want to continue to follow Tom, Brandon and I as we behave badly in Tennessee, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and press the bell icon to be notified when my next video is published. Thank you so much for watching.